What's going on, guys? It's Jacoborth back here with another video of Jacob's Life in Vegas, here to talk to you about something that's going to be very important to a lot of you moving here, especially those of you who are veterans. So I'm sitting here today with Annie and Prima Martin. So Annie has her own company called Veteran Ready, which provides lots of resources for local veterans in the Las Vegas area. So we're going to be talking today a lot about that transition you're going to make from the military life here to the civilian life living in the Las Vegas area. So we're going to get into questions, let her talk a little bit, share some of her experiences with us, and share some knowledge for any of you that are going to be in this situation when you're coming to Las Vegas. So Annie, thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
So in getting into it with lots of veterans, and they come to transition here to Las Vegas, you've been doing this for quite some time now.
Quite some time. Yeah.
So you've got plenty of experience. And when you see people from the military trying to make that transition from the military life to the civilian life, what would you probably say are some of the biggest challenges they face here in Las Vegas?
With service members either retiring or discharging and moving to Vegas, where this was maybe this was their home of record many years ago, or they were PCS multiple times and they're coming here, and this is where they decided to land. The biggest challenge is not understanding the culture of Vegas.
Yeah.
You know, we sort of play by our own set of rules, and because of that, there's this unwritten code of challenges that you have to experience. So with retiring service members of higher rank, the biggest experience that we witness is that humbling process, because they come out, especially the Air Force is going through the ETAPS or the CTAPS courses, and they're told, you're worth a lot, hold out for that high salary. And so they come out and they're like, I want to get a $150,000 job. The awakening component is that we don't have a lot of those available.
True.
And the folks that do get those have put in their 20 years, or they've had to work really hard to get there. So the unrealistic expectations coming through is high salary right from the get-go. And that's not Vegas. Vegas is very community driven. You have to work your way up, and you have to be a part and tapped into the city and really rooted into the city to move up to those salary rates. So the biggest advice I can give the folks that are higher ranking is to start networking, whether it's 18 months out, a year out, before they discharge, and just start really getting to know the people, the who's who in Vegas. Start networking, start reaching out, use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is an amazing tool for Vegas professionals here. And just start being a part of that circle, so that when the discharge does take place, then it's a really smooth transition, and it's less of a delay in getting those connections made. For the lower ranking individuals coming through, networking is going to be the number one recommendation by far, because it's all about who you know. And I don't say that in the sense that you have to know super squirrely people,
Right.
but you need to have that tribe or the village supporting you and making those connections, because there are a lot of people here.
Right.
And it's really hard to decipher among 1,000 marbles which marble application is really the stellar one. So it's easier to have a friend or colleague or somebody else come and say, hey, HR representative, please pull my friend's application and just take a look at it. And there's no guarantee that comes with that, but that's part of the culture here, is to really utilize those relationships.
Right.
And it doesn't guarantee anything, but what that does is it helps at least identify that one marble in that big pile of what could be 1,000 applications for that one job, to pull it and get a little bit more attention to it.
Right. And yeah, those are all very, very valid points for sure, especially when you're coming here to Las Vegas and you're brand new to town, and you don't know anybody yet, you're not familiar with the community, so plugging yourself in, taking the responsibility to plug yourself in, is a huge part of it. And for veterans who are coming here and they feel kind of lost or overwhelmed, or they don't maybe know where to start, I mean, what are some resources available specifically for them to help them make that transition?
The first recommendation I would make is to go on my website, which is www.veteranready.com, and click on events, and in there is an option where you can sign up to be on the mailing list.
Okay.
That mailing list gives a listing of all events, and it's the UNLV, it's the senators and the Congress men and women. It's anyone who has a veteran job fair or veteran networking event here in the city, and statewide, really, Nevada-wide. So it's at least giving the individual information on what's going on.
Right.
Because it's really difficult here in Vegas, where we don't have, very much unlike a little town where it's one radio station or one news media. We have multiple avenues of receiving information. So this is one way to collect all that information on one email once or twice a month, and then all community partners feed into that. So it's very easy to find out what's going on. So that's the first recommendation.
Okay. So what are some other resources that veterans can use here locally when they're looking to just get started and get their foot in the door and get out there and start networking in order to help themselves do well out here in Las Vegas?
2 suggestions. One, we here in Nevada, our American Job Center is called Job Connect. Tap into Job Connect because they have special funding. And veterans have preferential treatment when going into the Job Connect offices. We have one in North Vegas, one in Vegas, and one in Henderson. So they're in all neighborhoods, and the folks there are really, really amazing people. So tap into that, get connected with that. They have the same information that I'm sharing to them. They post on their walls. And then the other suggestion is to volunteer. So getting tapped into that community that I mentioned it multiple times, but getting tapped in, being a part of the community makes a big difference. So volunteering, the Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve is a DoD program, and they are always looking for volunteers to help. And it's a program that works with employers and service members in the Guard and Reserve. So it's a great way to learn and meet the employers in a very non-threatening, non-hierarchy, peer-to-peer way. And there are other programs that are looking for volunteers as well. So anything involving the military out there, we have so many to pick from. A lot of causes, a lot of nonprofits that are always looking for volunteers, and that's a great way to learn the who's who here in Vegas. And then networking. Networking.
Yeah, those are all the big ones, and especially for anybody moving here, networking is a huge part of it. When you come here, you have to take it upon yourself to plug into the community, and then obviously you're coming here. If you're coming and you got from the military and you're a veteran, then you have other resources available to you. The links for Annie's site and all the other resources will be down in the description below at the bottom of this video. It's a good place to start if you're making that transition from military life to civilian life here in Las Vegas. If you guys have any comments, any questions, please be sure to go ahead and put them down in the comments section below. I'll be sure to answer them as best I can for you guys and help you out. That's it for this video. I'm Jacob, and this is My Life in Vegas.